The thing is, if you are a single member LLC, and let's just say you just started, right? And funding business financing can be a very complicated process. But in today's conversation, I want to share with you 10 banks that will give $50,000 to single member LLC startups. So here's a review I want you to pay attention to. So the first bank that will really take care of you is Santander. Now, Santander is really great because they are startup friendly. They have a whole department that will take care of you if you are looking for up to $50,000 in single member LLC. And the cool thing is that Santander actually has, they're pretty flexible in terms of their APR, in terms of their credit score. We've seen cases where they actually approved the single member LLC that has, with the owners, they have probably like a FICO score that was around 600. So this is really good. So $50,000. Now, Santander is it's very generous as well. What we love about Santander is that they can actually approve you all the way to $250,000. But if you want to provide, let's say, some paperwork, okay, now if you want to collateralize the loan or the line of credit for that matter, they can actually approve you for up to $1 million. And we're talking about a repayment term of 10 years. So this is really great. So, but $50,000, that's the easy steal here. $50,000 if you're a single member LLC, not a problem. And the other company that I want to share with you, the second bank that really does a lot of great stuff, is American Express. Now, American Express has a national bank. A lot of folks don't know this, but American Express has a national bank. But the only thing is you got to be an existing American Express cardholder for American Express to actually grant you a single member LLC startup loan or line of credit up to $50,000. Usually their loans and lines of credit range from $3,500 all the way to $75,000. But we've seen, based on our research for the last 15 years, that $50K is pretty reasonable if you're a single member LLC, but you need to be a current cardholder, either at the personal level or as a business cardholder. So this is really good. Now, one thing we love about American Express is that they tend to approve you real fast, and all the application process can happen online. You don't have to go to a branch or whatever. You can just apply online, not a problem. So this is pretty good. So we love that a lot. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Another bank that really will approve you up to $50,000 if you're a single member LLC startup is First Citizens Bank. Now, don't listen to a lot of folks telling you, oh, First Citizens is kind of shaky. The bank is kind of shaky. No, First Citizens Bank is well funded. They're pretty solid, and they're really friendly to single member LLC startups. And the cool thing is it will approve you up to $50,000. Now, if you want to collateralize the loan or you want to provide more paperwork, they can actually approve you all the way to $250,000, so $250,000. And so the cool thing about First Citizens is that they actually approve business loans, business lines of credit, but also they do SBA term loans, SBA Express term loans for single member LLCs, but also multiple member LLCs. So this is really good. So when you think about First Citizens Bank, I want you to think about a bank that has the flexibility and also the diversity of business funding that you might need if you are in that category of startups. Another bank I want to share with you that's really friendly to single member LLC startups is PNC. So PNC is pretty good. First of all, you got to qualify for in terms of geography. In other words, you got to be in a state where PNC actually is present. But the cool thing is, if you can qualify for a single member LLC startup business loan or business line of credit up to $50,000. Usually, PNC will look at your file, will look at your loan application. If you want to apply for anything from $20,000 all the way to $100,000. But we've seen, based on our experience, that PNC is pretty comfortable approving business loans and business lines of credit for single member LLC startups around $50,000. The cool thing is that PNC has, in addition to an unsecured small business loan, they also have secure business loan. They have a small business commercial real estate loan. They also have secure vehicle finance loan. So the point I'm trying to make here is that with the PNC, you have a large constellation of business loans and business lines of credit that you can actually qualify for if you are a single member LLC. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about banks that will give you $50,000 if you are a single member LLC startup. Another bank that's pretty friendly to small businesses is U.S. Bank. So we love U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank, they tend to be real fast. They really will approve you within 72 hours, which is really fast. If you were to think about a large bank, U.S. Bank is a large bank, a large regional bank, a bank. And the cool thing is that if you are a single member LLC startup, you can qualify for $50,000 without much difficulty. Now, the problem here is that U.S. Bank have to be with them for at least 1 year before they actually can consider you. Now, if you do not meet the requirements, then you will need to actually provide more documentation. But the potential is there. So with U.S. Bank, you actually have all kinds of business loans and lines of credit. So you actually have 6 types of business loans and lines of credit if you are a single member LLC startup. So you have what they call the U.S. Bank Quick Loan. That's number one. This is where you can be approved for up to $250,000. Then you have another loan that they call the Business Term Loan. Here you can get a conventional financing arrangement for up to $1 million. You have commercial real estate loan up to $10 million, SBA loan up to $15 million, equipment financing you have here up to $1 million, and so you do have a lot of options when it comes to single member LLC startup funding. You also have, if you are a single member LLC startup and you're looking for up to $50,000 or more, you can get it from Truist Bank. And Truist Bank is kind of cool too. We love Truist Bank for 3 reasons. Number one, their customer service is just excellent. Number 2, they tend to approve real fast. And number 3, their requirements are relatively, I would say, lenient. So Truist Bank will approve you up to $100,000 if you have like a higher credit score. But if you have an average credit score, let's say around 600 or 575 to 600, 625, Truist Bank can still approve you for up to $50,000 if you are looking for a single member LLC startup business loan or business line of credit. The other thing is that U.S. Bank wants you to be with them for at least 9 months. So you got to be a client for at least 9 months before you actually can qualify for a U.S. Bank loan. So, but hey, listen, it is still worth it. Fantastic. Another bank I want to share with you is TD Bank. So TD Bank is a great bank. And TD actually is a kind of cool if you are if you have a crisis, if your single member LLC startup is operating, let's say around the Northeast and Florida for that matter. And so what we love about TD Bank is that they can actually qualify you for up to $50,000 without asking too many questions. Now, if you want more, you're going to have to provide documentation. And as a matter of fact, TD Bank will approve you up to $250,000 if you apply online, and they will give you a larger balance, a larger loan amount if you go to a branch. But the cool thing is the potential is there. That's what we love about TD Bank. What we love about TD Bank also is that they tend to be really fast. So if you have any question, let's say you are not satisfied with your loan or you want more, it's just better to call them. Instead of doing everything online, just call them, give them a call, and they'll certainly answer you. So the number here is 1-855-278-8988, 1-855-278-8988. Monday through Friday, they are available, 8:30 a.m. through 5 p.m. Eastern. The cool thing is that they will actually answer all questions that you have about your single member LLC, startup business loan, or business line of credit. TD Bank doesn't have like a requirements for, let's say, how many months you have to be a customer before applying for a business loan or line of credit. If you want a single member LLC, if you want single member LLC startup business funding. However, we have seen in our experience that if you have been with them for 1 year, at least 1 year before you apply, then you have a bigger chance of being approved. And now, when I'm talking about 1 year, I'm not just talking about 1 year as a business client. You can also be an individual client and still sort of parlay that relationship that you have built at the personal level, and bearing any misfortune or anything else that is derogatory to your account. If you don't have, and that's why you have to make sure do not have too many overdrafts, too many NSFs, NSF incidents on your account. Otherwise, those incidents will doom your ability to get a loan in the future. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about the banks that will give you $50,000 if you are a single member LLC startup. Another institution that will take care of you if you're a single member LLC startup is Capital One. So Capital One is pretty good. Now, Capital One, the thing is that Capital One is pretty generous too. A lot of folks know Capital One as a credit card issuer, but they don't know that Capital One also issues business loans and business lines of credit to a single member and multiple member LLCs. Okay. And the cool thing is that with Capital One, they will approve you up to $50,000 without asking too many questions. But if you want more, then you're going to have to collateralize the loan. So Capital One will either ask you to provide more documentation or collateralize the loan. Now, for instance, if you want to collateralize the loan, you can get up to $5 million under Capital One's equity financing arrangements. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you are a single member LLC, a multi-member LLC. It doesn't matter the type of LLC that you have, as long as you qualify under Capital One's loan conditions, they will approve you, not a problem. What we love about Capital One is that they tend to approve real fast. Now, there is a little problem here. I mean, not a problem, but they want you to be in business for 2 years. So if you're a single member LLC, if you're a startup, you better be with Capital One, the bank, at least 1 year. That's the only condition we have seen in practice. Capital One actually waived the 2-year requirement. So if you have been with them for 1 year, then you can still be a startup and get the $50K or even more. But then they will ask you for a business plan. They might ask you for some projected financials. In other words, you might need to actually prove the viability of your business model before getting a loan from Capital One. And Capital One also wants you to have an open business checking account with them before they can fund you. So, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, all banks do this. They want you to be a client, and they want you to. But with Capital One, as I said, the potential is there. There is basically they can approve you up to $5 million. But it's all about building a relationship first, and you can parlay that relationship that you have already built. You can parlay that relationship into an arrangement, a loan arrangement for your single member LLC. And that really works for you. That really gives you massive loan proceeds. Another institution that you will love also is KeyBank. KeyBank will give you up to, if you are a single member LLC startup, KeyBank will give you up to $50,000 and even more in some cases without asking too many questions. Okay. And when we talk about KeyBank here, of course, we're speaking about a geo-restricted institution. So you have to be in the geography that the KeyBank covers. But if you do qualify in terms of geography, then you are good to go. Okay. But you can actually get more than $50K though. The $50K here is the average, but if you actually want more, you can qualify for that. As a matter of fact, KeyBank will approve you up to $100,000 and will give you the delta, the range between the normal range goes from $10,000 to $100,000. And there are cases where KeyBank will actually approve you up to $500,000. So the potential is there. And in terms of loan tenor, in terms of the maturity of the loan here, you are looking at 12 months all the way to 84 months. So we have 1 year to 7 years. Fantastic. And so basically, you can actually qualify for more business funding for your single member LLC. And so you can get, for instance, business real estate borrowing here. You can borrow anywhere from $10,000 to $1 million. And the tenor, the loan repayment window here is 20 years. You also have SBA loans, okay, up to $12 million. But that's what we love about KeyBank. We love the flexibility. And another thing that we love with KeyBank here is that they are really fast. They tend to be really fast in releasing the funds. The thing is that they just want you to be a client of KeyBank for at least six months before you apply. So if you are listening to me right now and you are thinking about applying for a single member LLC, startup business loan, or business line of credit, you want to be with KeyBank for at least 6 months before you apply. If you have any question, you can always contact their number. So it's 1-888-KEY-FOR-BIZ, 1-888-KEY-FOR-BIZ, 539-4249. Or you can just drop us a question in the comment section below, and one of our team members will certainly get back to you and explain to you all the nuances of KeyBank financing. Please, when you ask a question, let us know your city and state that you are at, so we can contextualize the answer to you. Another bank that I want to share with you that's pretty generous with single member LLC here. You are talking about BMO Harris. So BMO Harris is another great institution. With BMO, you actually can qualify anywhere from $10,000 all the way to $1 million. But generally, on average, they will give you $50,000. The cool thing about BMO Harris is that even though they're really geo restricted, like they are like in 5 states or 6 states. Now they're growing though. I mean, they just bought over Bank of the West, so they are actually going to grow their geographical footprint. But what I wanted to say about BMO Harris is that we love the fact that they are pretty responsive in terms of getting back to you. Like if you call them and you ask a question or you have like a pending item, whatever, somebody will get back to you. As a matter of fact, I will give you the number if you are interested in reaching out to BMO Harris and you're a single member LLC and you want to have up to $50,000. You can call 1-888-340-2265, 1-888-340-2265, or you can just find a branch and just go to a branch and have a conversation with a branch manager. One thing I also want to say here is that BMO will approve anywhere from $10,000 all the way to $1 million. Okay. Now, anytime you go above 50K, just be ready to provide more documentation. Sometimes business plans, maybe like a business pitch. You might need to really provide projected financials. Okay. Because they really go granular. I mean, if you are thinking about having a larger loan amount, but overall, BMO is pretty flexible. They will work with you. They will answer all questions that you have. But it is just fantastic. And one thing I need to say before closing today's conversation is that, as I said before, BMO is geo restricted. So they are available in Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Minnesota, Missouri, and Wisconsin. Now, as I said, they just bought over a Bank of the West. So their footprint, they're just like are expanding their footprint big time in California. So this is really cool. Another thing I want to say here is that BMO Harris tend to release funds real fast. So if you apply, just be sure that you have all the documentation, because once they start processing your loan, your application, they tend to be really fast. So this is fantastic. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Let me just do a quick recap here. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about 10 banks that will give you, if you're a single member LLC startup, up to $50,000. So number 1, Santander. Number 2, American Express National Bank. Number 3, we have First Citizens Bank. Number 4, PNC. Number 5, US Bank. Number 6, Truist Bank. Number 7, TD Bank. Number 8, Capital One. Number 9, Key Bank. Number 10, BMO Harris Bank. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.